And we're going to start with some keynote addresses from policy makers. We've asked them to take stock of where we're at right now, the policy landscape, as you like, if you like, but not just that, to also look at what needs to happen to get us on track to deliver for the Paris climate goals. I'm delighted to say that our first speaker is Marianne Sivertsen Næss, leader of the Energy and Environment Committee from the Norwegian Parliament, and she's going to tell us about what Norway is doing now and what it must yet do. Marianne. Great to have you with us.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is a great privilege for me to address you about how we see the energy transition and the road to a net zero. Energy plays a fundamental role in meeting the primary needs of society and securing international stability and prosperity. Ensuring secure, affordable, and sustainable access to energy for all is perhaps the biggest challenge of our time. The task ahead is a huge one. We must reduce emission, increase production of renewables, and develop technologies for new industries. This will only be possible if governments, societies, industries, academia, and organizations work closely together. Let me share some perspectives on how the Labour Party, as a member of the government, aims to reach a zero-emission future. The Norwegian government has pointed out a direction where, together, we will grasp the opportunities and solve the challenges this transition represents. In our governing platform, our ambitions are clear: to contribute to a secure, green transition and employment. We will have an active approach, creating jobs, increasing exports, and facilitating new and existing industries based on our common natural resources. The past few years have shown how detrimental it is both for people and society when we lack energy. We must ensure that the energy transition occurs at a pace where we have sufficient access to energy and don't lose people's support along the way. The energy crisis has clearly shown how connected our energy system is. We need renewable energy, we need oil and gas, and we need low-emission technologies such as hydrogen and CCS. Petroleum will remain an important part of the world's energy mix for several years to come. But the world is changing. It is a smart insurance policy for companies to have a foot in future industries. It's becoming more expensive to pollute. Investments in cutting emissions is investments in its own future profitability. Basically, we need more of everything as quickly as possible. We are developing and expanding different forms of energy. We have already embarked on a historic investment in onshore wind. In the short run, offshore wind, small-scale power, the upgrading of hydropower plants, district heating, and solar power can make a vital contribution. Neither must we not forget energy efficiency. The energy sources of least conflicts are the ones which we haven't started to use yet. And there is a huge potential for Norway for this. Let me be clear. There will be no real green transition without new green power production. The bottlenecks to this process are largely political. There are 4 specific bottlenecks. 1, slow case processing. 2, public opposition. 3, framework conditions. 4, lack of power grid capacity. This is where we must focus our efforts. We have taken on more caseworkers and have taken measures to increase investments in power grid. Case processing is now faster, and a big task for the coming years is to find even new measures to ensure that the case processing can be done faster than it is today. We are drawing up new community contracts for onshore wind, where we are leaving more value in the local community. We are giving local authorities more of a say of what is developed. And we are creating more local jobs in the process. Local communities must get something back when they make their natural resources available. The local rewards must be easy for people to see. In the future, we must produce more in grey areas. We must take advantage of the fact that technology has improved. This means that we do not have to choose the most wind-exposed areas. We must set strict environmental requirements to filter out the projects with the greatest negative impact on nature. Developers must work closely with local communities to ensure important values for both society and the environment. And even as we regulate strict environmental standards for renewable energy, we must not forget that already today the world's energy system has got a significant footprint. Renewable energy is often produced closer to where it is used than fossil fuels. We must build a new energy system which in total has got a smaller overall environmental footprint than the existing energy system. I am convinced that this is completely doable. Lastly, predictability is a key word. The Parliament has recently come together in a broad agreement on onshore wind across political blocs. This means that there won't be significant changes in the framework conditions in the coming years. Norway is a safe country to invest in, and we hope as many as possible will seize the opportunity to make profitable investments. Offshore wind is currently our largest renewable export. The Norwegian government has launched its ambition to award areas by 2040 for production of 30 gigawatts ocean wind. This equals almost the entire power production in Norway and could challenge the capacity of our national grid system. Substantial part of the power production must therefore be directed to other countries. The government aims to evaluate consequences of different hybrid cable solutions for offshore wind in Norwegian waters. With our offshore experience, floating offshore wind will be an area where Norwegian companies can play a very important role in future developments. 2 large areas for offshore wind have been opened, Sørlige Nordsjø II and Utsira Nord. Several companies have pre-qualified for Sørlige Nordsjø II, and it will be exciting to follow the first auction only 1 week from now. But we do not plan to stop here, and we will open for more areas for offshore renewable energy production in the years ahead. First stop is 2025, and then regular rounds to award areas for offshore wind will follow. Our ambition in the northern parts of Norway is to be included by 2027. And for demonstration projects like Goliath Wind, areas may be awarded even earlier. This is a project that has already carried out knowledge gathering and collaborated well with the fisheries. And just last week, Enova awarded 2 billion Norwegian kroner to floating offshore wind at Goliath. It is quite possible that this project could come before all regular rounds and before 2027. If so, this could be the starting point for the offshore wind adventure in the north. So, dear friends, our goals are clear: to create new and attractive jobs across the country, increase green investments, strengthen our export, and cut emissions. To accomplish that, we have to work together, across industries, across the public and private sector, and across borders. Thank you so much for your attention.